And all right, everybody, welcome to Crypto CJ's Trade of the Day, the Monday night Zoom edition. And we have quite a few the regulars here. Got some new people too. So thank you so much for coming out. I think this is my 8th or 9th presentation. Really enjoying this. And let's share my screen. We will talk briefly about Bitcoin. Now, the last couple times, last few Monday night Zooms, we've had Bitcoin dumps, and now we have a Bitcoin recovery in a squeeze. Before I get too far, is everybody seeing my Bitcoin chart okay?
Yeah.
All right, heads nodding, good. I'm on a 5-minute chart. Let's look at the hour just to get an overview of where we've been. You see last week we were in a 1, 2, 3 dip sequence a couple hours before our Zoom call. We were talking earlier about the options expiration on the 26th, how that may or may not have affected the market. Looks like something affected it, took it all the way down to 50,400. 50,000 is looking like pretty strong support at this point. So Bitcoin's been recovering nicely, a little dip here, but then moving up all the way close to 58,000. It's like it's been swatted down a couple times at that rate. So that could be our resistance for the time being. We could punch through tonight, who knows? Let's take a closer look on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, it's super squeezy. It's been that way most of the, well, since 6:30 Pacific. We've only got, a little over 1% between the Bollinger Bands. So that is super squeeze time, which means it makes it difficult to evaluate other trades. When, had I been awake and trading at midnight, had I seen this pattern, this would have been signaling some trend of trades in some other coins. But like I said, it's just going sideways pretty much all day. Anyone care to chime in on Bitcoin's action before I move over to Altcoin Alert? Okay. This is a new and improved Altcoin Alert. I'm really enjoying this. This is very similar to how I was trading this software back in July and August when I had my best results. We've got the higher scores. At least half of the coins are on Binance, my favorite exchange. So that works out pretty well. I've been trading this since I made a couple trades on Friday, a couple on Saturday, a couple on Sunday, a couple today, and I'm out of almost all of them with between like 2 and 5% profit. So I am just treating this software as something to let me know of coins that are potentially moving. I use it for trend trades. And it's got this new feature. If I click on ANKR here, it'll show me the white line is the AA score and the green line is the actual price of the coin. Now, those of you who are on the Friday CryptNation call, let me know if I'm wrong on this, but what I think would be of value is to see, this white line going up and having the green line lagging behind it. So this would be a leading indicator of something that's about to move. That's how I'm interpreting this, this potential action here. I don't totally rely on it, but it is helpful because I actually bought ANKR. I was in and out of it. I bought it again this morning right around just before noon, and then it dropped.
Yeah, I think you're saying what they were saying.
Okay, good.
If you look like on the 25th where the white one crosses over the green one, that's the sentiment going high. And then it took a few days, but then the price followed and climbed up to on the 28th.
Right.
So the thing that I'm figuring out sort of slowly is how much of a leading indicator is it? Like right now on the right of the chart, the white line is above the green line. So how long will it take for the green line to climb again?
Right. And so again, the white line's should be leading, but I'm not sure how long it'll take. For me as a
Right.
day trader, I'm looking for 24 to 48 hours to be in and out of ANKR, and I'm looking to get probably 3 to 4%, on my trade. That's how I'm using the software in general. Just really smaller spot trades. Sometimes if it's a leverage token that I can use on Binance or FTX, I'll jump in there and try to get closer to 10%. But right now, this is how I'm looking at it. And then the second thing we have to think of, we've got a really nice score here of 96. What do I do with this information? Where do I get in? So this is the ANKR chart, the 5-minute, and a lot of them are looking like this, super squeezy. We'd rather see a dip pattern or a strong set of candles moving up. And we're just starting to get a little bit of that now on the ANKR chart. When I bought it, it was around noon, and I was in this. I was looking at this. I saw a punch above the SMA line. Which made me think it was ready to take off, but it flattened out and then dropped again. So right now I'm in slight profit, and I'm hoping that this goes, like I'm in, let's see, right about here, 166. I'm looking forward to get to resistance up here. No, not that high. Yeah, right about here. So that's, dang it, go away. So that's how I'm using Altcoin Alert to, make me aware of coins that are moving. And then I use my, my day trading training to determine an entry point and an exit point. So
what would your percentage be if it goes to that resistance you just drew?
1.4, probably about 3.5, give or take. Yeah, 3.3. If I'm live trading it and I see it's pumping, I might cancel that and see if it can catch this resistance here. And maybe even all the way up here. That's pretty ambitious in my mind, but who knows? It could happen. But it's just been my experience, especially over the summer, that say 2 to 5% was really the sweet spot for most of these trades that had the high AA scores. So I'm optimistic that it returns to that, because quite frankly, it was pretty easy to do. I could look at a 96 score, pop over to the ANKR chart, find an entry point, or at least set an alert for one, and then move on to the next coin. So Brooklyn can't get in. Shoot, I like that guy. Did anybody have any trouble getting into this meeting? No? Okay, it's got to be something on his end. All right, so that covers the ANKR trade that I'm in. Anybody have any questions on this? I went through it kind of fast. So.
How do you pick your entry point?
Good question. In this particular trade, actually this isn't right. I think it's up a little higher. This SMA line, this red line here, is the middle. What you don't want to do is buy at the middle. You either want to buy low down here on the Bollinger Band and maybe use the SMA line as resistance and an exit point, or see a few candles trending above the SMA line and catch a trend going up. So I did the latter. I was, where did I get in this coin? 1153. Okay, so it was trending here. I had a couple good candles. and I was optimistic it would punch above the SMA line and start working its way back up to these levels here. Since it had gone through a dip sequence, I like these kind of retrace trades. So I'm catching it here, and it had sort of done a 1, 2, 3 dip, not quite 1, 2, and then it was working its way up, and I see if the MACD had crossed. Yeah, actually the MACD had crossed. I didn't make a note of that. So this is sort of a 1, 2, 3 dip with it's a 1, 2 dip with a MACD cross. But I don't know if it would necessarily qualify because these are kind of squeezy. Yeah, it's more than 5%. So it's not the kind of big bubble that we're used to seeing like this. But you know, the range between the high and the low of the Bollinger Bands over 5%. So that would technically qualify as a dip sequence with a MACD cross. So that's sometimes the best we can get in a bull market. You know, as I showed you earlier, Bitcoin's recovering pretty well. So, you know, for those of us who like dip trades like me, I'm not always going to get that third dip. So if I see a 1 and a 2 dip and then a MACD cross down here, then that's usually good enough for me and I'll get in. So was that John who asked that question? I wasn't sure.
Yes, that was me.
Okay. Does that answer your question, sir?
Sure does.
All right, cool. All right. Any other questions on that? All right, let's see. Pundy X, don't know that one. I did look at VThor earlier. Yeah, I still got it up here, so total squeeze. And trending down a little bit. I put the volume up because I did think I did like how there was a lot of volume up towards the top of the Bollinger Band at the time I was looking this an hour or so ago. So if I caught it down here and rode it up to the top of the pretty good volume, 2.76%, not bad. I might try to push it a little bit, see if I can catch this, you know, this little resistance area here for 4.48%. But I don't like what the candle action is showing me at the moment, so I would not enter this trade. I would want to see a couple candles trending up or a more pronounced dip sequence. So this is not a trade I would take at the moment. Another thing to do if you're interested in this trade is to right click down here on the RSI and do an RSI alert. We like it when it goes below the 30. That indicates oversold. Click that here. Maybe do a little note. Create that that alert. Now it's there. So if VThor dips below this, that's usually indicative of a second or third dip or a big crashing initial dip. Like maybe the one after this goes and you get in there. So not loving this at the moment. All right, any questions on VThor? Let's look at Chiles. Let's click on this one.
Yeah, that's been a topic of discussion today.
Yeah.
Lots of members.
Yeah, I've been in and out of this. I actually bought it yesterday morning and I'm still in it. You can see the sentiments drop quite a bit. And oh cool, sold something. That's the ANKR trade, just sold for 3% and change. Cool. Anyway, so I'm not sure where this is going to go at the moment based on this information. Now, this is only one of the tools that we look at, obviously. So if you look at the Chiles chart, it's in squeeze like everything else. Got a green candle here. It might try to work its way back up. Let's look at the hours, see the bigger picture. I've got multiple alerts set here. These are the alerts I set when I initiate a spot trade. For the bull market, I usually set up about 10% below where I bought it. Then I forget to cancel them sometimes after they sell. So now I've got, since I bought it again, I've got 2 of them. I'll probably delete this one.
I just sold my anchor, just sold. I was in it also.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with this one. Like I said, I got in yesterday, so it's not. Yeah, I started yesterday. I bought a second position today around 53. It's dropped a little from that. So if it drops, if it's dropped down here to 49, I'll probably buy another position and try to catch this on the way back in a ladder buy. Those of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel, you've probably seen me do videos on ladder buying before. It can help save trades like this where, you know, yeah, you analyze it correctly, do everything right, and for whatever reason, it just goes against you. Usually when that happens, it's a Bitcoin dump. There's nothing we can do about that. I mean, I probably wouldn't buy much right now because Bitcoin doesn't look that good on the 5-minute chart. If it's usually the first thing I look at before I trade is to see what's going on with Bitcoin, or at least have knowledge of it. Maybe I checked it a few minutes ago and then I look at 3 or 4 charts real quick to see what I want to do. But yeah, this isn't really giving me any clear direction. So I might hold off on any trades tonight until I see something I like. I've set my alerts. So I went through those last week on the 15-minute and the 1-hour charts, the RSI, like I just showed you a few minutes ago. Actually, I've had no alerts go off today. It's a very strange day. So
Go back to the last one.
the Chile's one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look how all the major rises happen between 12 at night after midnight.
Yeah, we're still on the hour chart.
It's like somebody overseas is really interested in that particular coin.
Yeah, it's gone up a little bit here, but it's more pronounced earlier in the week or, you know, a few days ago. But yeah, that is an interesting trend to take note of. And just, you know, we all know that crypto is worldwide. So, you know, midnight here is going to be 7 or 8 in the morning for London and, you know, the European countries, if I'm remembering that correctly. But so when they start trading, sometimes if the market's still in the bull range, you know, the prices will start to go up. All right, I've really only looked at the AA scores the last couple of days. I've dabbled a little bit in some of the other searches I like to do, you know, the 1-hour projected sort. This is amusing. So on metal, this first one listed, the upper is 49%, the lower is 42%. You know, I've never seen a trade range that large before on this sort. So I do like this coin OGN. It's at all-time highs. So I still have it up here. So let's look at OGN. I'm actually staking this one, so this is cool. Quick look at the day chart, all-time high. On the 1-hour chart, not really seeing any retrace on any of the charts. So let's say you're evaluating OGN, you feel strongly about it. You've got, you know, what's our Altcoin Alert score here is, well, it's neutral. So, but we've got this 25% change, upper is 10%. You know, these are some values that we like. Trading activities fire. Probably at this range, I think it's tapped out. I'm usually looking for, say, 10 to 20% or so in the 24-hour change and try to catch the last 5%. But OGN, It's been so good to me. So what do you do with this? Let's say you want to evaluate this for an exit beyond the all-time high. This is where the Fibonacci extender comes in handy. I've talked about this a few times before. And here it is over here in TradingView. And that's not right. Ah, here it is. Some of these look the same to me. Trend-based fib extension. So I click this tool. I go to the low of the trading range, which I think is right here after this dip. Where's the highest closing candle? There's a series of them pretty close. Maybe it's this guy here. I'll go this one. My second click is here. And I drop down here for my third click. And we're usually looking to get to this 1.272 range. So I'm only doing this on a 5-minute chart. It's not going to be that much. But if I bought it at its current price, 1.78, 1.272, give me almost 5%. I do like that as a day trader. So, but we're going to beyond all-time highs. It's a bit risky in my view, but I've done a few of these in the past month or so. Unfortunately, I've been out of all of them with some small profits, but just the kind that build your balance. So I like to do this with coins I have some experience with. I won't usually do it with something I don't know very well. So okay, any questions on OGN or the fib extension? Okay, Altcoin Alert. Let's look at short-term sentiment. And this was interesting. There was no bullish short-term sentiment at all in the search. It's all neutral or bearish. So not going to do anything with that. Long-term sentiment, which they should rename. I think we talked about that on Friday. 24 hours based on the last 20 days comparison. These coins I don't know. Comp is interesting, but the upper is only 1.94%. I'm usually looking for 5% or higher on the upper on this 1 hour projected. Let's just search on that. Nothing's really jumping out at me. I mean, it might get to the point where some of these secondary searches might be unnecessary if the Altcoin Alert, the AA scores are as solid as they have been looking. I'm hoping, because that's just a lot easier to look at. So, okay, I've looked at 3 coins here and a couple others. Any other questions on Altcoin Alert before I switch over to iCoinPro?
How often is it updated? New data?
1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah, you see where I'm highlighting here, Patrick? Yeah. I'm sorry, was that, Patrick, did you ask that? Okay. Yeah. It was every 5 minutes. Now it's more often. I sometimes, reload just to be sure. So, and the default is usually to go to the highest volume coin. So you have to click it again to get to the AA scores and to see what some of the internal values are for these. So, all right. Well, now I'm going to pop over to iCoinPro. For those of you who are new, iCoinPro is the sort of sister program to the day trading program that I learned from about 1.5 years ago. And it has both training, a lot of training in it on how to day trade and do so conservatively, how to conserve your balance. And it also has tools to help you find trades. So what I'm looking at now is the Buddy Coin Crawler. And the column I sort by is the average low to the SMA. So It's the average it's the 24-hour low for that coin to the SMA line, that middle pink line that you've seen on the charts I showed you earlier. So ideally, these values would be 5% or higher, but as we've seen, most of the coins are in squeezes. So the values are quite a bit lower than what I would like to see. I looked at a couple of these already. These are newer coins. I don't usually trade newer coins. I mean, I'll trade a new listing, you know, buy the rumor, sell the news, but usually these just don't have enough history to make me feel comfortable applying any kind of analysis to them. Oh, that's the 5-minute chart. I click the day chart. Look, this coin was only listed, you know, only a few weeks ago. Went through. Now, a lot of times they start up here and then they just crash down, but this one at least had some trading action. I might be more inclined to look at this one than something that was just listed a couple days ago. There's there's some trading movement, a 4-hour chart. So it's not so bad, but yeah, not really seeing anything here to do with this one. So I'm gonna click out of it. See if there's anything here that interests me. Storage has been on a tear lately. I've traded this coin before, though it's been a while. I've looked at it a couple times, and each time it's just higher than I want to get it each time I look at it. So here's a nice dip sequence here. This morning I was looking at some other stuff. Doggone it. I would have been all over this. 1, 2, 3, actually a 4 dipper. So this would have been a sweet pickup right around here. To the SMA lines, 5.4%. You would have been out probably in less than 5 hours. So that's good stuff. Right now it's trending up pretty high. I would look for a retrace here. There are some candles back here above $3. So that could be interesting. We've got a pretty hard trend going up here. These two candles here take me to 1.92. Now, if I go back to these guys, you know, just under 5%. That's not bad, but, you know, risk reward. Do I want to, you know, go pretty close to, well, the all-time high is actually 370. So, kind of on the fence on this one. I'd rather see it in a dip sequence, let's put it that way. And something's pumping
You
like
ever
this has
see
been.
something like this on Buddy Coin and then go back to AA and look at storage to see what kind of information you have on this coin on the other program?
Yeah, I've done that, but for usually because I want to do a video and I want to try to figure out whether I want to depend on or emphasize Buddy Coin Crawler or iCoinPro. I mean, Altcoin Alert. So I don't proactively do that. I do remember frequently that, oh, okay, I saw this in Altcoin Alert and it had a good score on it too. So that's helpful to have the two different programs showing me information that's helpful to make a decision on a trade.
Yeah, we didn't like see this coin when you were over on the other program.
Right.
So you would think that they would somewhat agree on which coin was pumping or in a good position.
Well, that's true to some degree, but on the you'll also see coins that have dumped hard in this list, because that will also increase, you know, the 24-hour, you know, the average low. If something's dumped hard, if it's gone down, you know, 20 or 30%, that could give it a percentage of, you know, 10 to 15% here, but it would be towards the downside. I like this. I like iCoinPro mostly to find dip trades. And, you know, I use Altcoin Alert to find trend trades. So that's why I like using these two programs together, because I can trade both ways. And yeah, so.
Thanks.
Okay, did we look at Harmony yet? had a nice nice trade with this one this morning, and I got back in, and then it dove on me. This happens. So I saw this trend here this afternoon. While I was getting ready for this, I try to look at, 8 to 10 coins and focus on, so I have something to talk to you guys about. And also it helps me do some trades. So I was in this, and it didn't quite get to where I wanted to. It topped out at about 0.203, and I was looking for about 2.208. Yeah, right around here. And that happens sometimes. Pushing for 5 or 6%, and instead you get maybe 4%, which is still pretty good. Then it takes a nosedive, but it's working its way back up, and I haven't been in it very long, only for about an hour and a half. We'll see if it recovers today and pushes through. There's some good volume up here, so we'll see if it does that. All right. Let's see if iCoinPro has this one. I haven't looked at. Seller volume's good. Like to see this above 5%, but this is what we have to work with now. Has a drop-down menu that'll take me to TradingView. I like that too. All right, so we did have a dip sequence here. We have the big bubble, 1, 2, and then it rises, and then we have a MACD cross here. So this might have been a good spot to get in. It's currently up about 2%. I would probably look for this resistance here. Had I caught this dip, for around 5%. It's a little bit late now to get in. It's trending up nicely. It's been above the SMA line now for about 6 candles, half an hour. You could try to catch this resistance here at 3%. Up here at about 5.5. Not bad. So that's about all I have on that one. Let's look at this one here, Dent. This has been moving quite a bit. Volume's really good, over 200 million. Trying to remember how new this is. That's the week chart. Yeah, it's been around for a year and a half, so. Yeah, I think we're too late for this one. Unless you want to try to, yeah, maybe it might go up here. It was up about a week ago to 0.014. So it's got some potential for a retrace, but that retrace was over a week. I like retraces, within a day or two, or preferably an hour or two. I'm impatient. I want to get in and out. Day trading. Up to about 8%, 9% here, 16% here. So potential trend trade. Rather catch it around here, but a little too high for my tastes. So not loving that one. Okay. So that's about all I have for the iCoinPro options and the Altcoin Alert options. We're over a half an hour. I'll throw this open to anybody who has any questions. I'd like to keep it focused on day trading, and then we'll probably end the recording after that. And then I usually hang around for a little longer to talk about anything crypto. So for now, do we have any other questions on on day trading, how maybe Bitcoin's moves have affected how we day trade, anything like that.
Cedar, you said you wait until, if you don't get it at the bottom of the Bollinger Band, you wait until it's a few bars above the SMA to get in?
Yeah, and to me, that's just a different strategy. So, obviously on the low Bollinger Band, we're looking for a dip trade, and, above the Bollinger Band, more of a trend thing. There's a strategy called the MACD mover, where this is sort of an example of it here. These candles are trending above the SMA line, and the MACD is crossed down here. It's in or slightly below the histogram. So this, on the MACD mover strategy, you could go to the top of the Bollinger Band for 0.97%, or you could look at some of these other, resistance areas to see if you want to take it farther, 2.4%, 4%, 7%, 8.9%, you get the idea. But I don't want to, since so many traders use the SMA line as resistance, I don't want to be buying there.
Yeah, that's where I just sold my that's where I sold ANKR at on Binance, was at the their 60 MA line. So
There you go.
yep.
A lot of traders use different moving averages for such things. I got the 20-day moving average here for is the orange one, and the green one is the 99-day. A lot of people use 100. But I think it's easier just to spot the candles, because the candles don't lie ever. So, these other indicators are lagging and somewhat based on formulas, but I like the candles to determine resistance and exit points. Okay. Any other day trading questions? Alrighty then, I will stop the video here. At least I think I will. Yeah, here we go. So I'll go ahead and stop the video here and hang around for any additional questions. For those of you watching, thank you so much for attending my Monday night Zoom, and I will